Ricky Gervais has been saying for years that Hollywood is hiding something very, very dark. And now, one by one, some of the biggest names in the world are quietly disappearing. Ellen DeGeneres is hiding in the UK. Jay-Z just lost 10 million followers overnight. Tom Hanks has gone completely silent. And Oprah, the woman who was in everyone's living room for decades, has suddenly become very comfortable staying out of sight. And Ricky Gervais, he warned every single one of them years ago, right to their faces. He looked a room full of Hollywood's most powerful people dead in the eye and told them, they're coming for you.
You could binge watch the entire first season of Afterlife instead of watching this show. That's a show about a man who wants to kill himself because his wife dies of cancer, and it's still more fun than this, okay? Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You like to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you?
I know you clicked because you want to know the truth, and that's exactly what you're going to get. Because this isn't just about Ricky Gervais making funny jokes at awards shows. This is about a man who stood in a room full of Hollywood's most powerful people and told them what was coming before anyone else had the guts to say it out loud. By the time you finish this video, you're going to see exactly which names Ricky pointed at and why those same names are now keeping a very low profile. You're going to see the pattern, and once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it.
He kept asking you back to do those awards, and the actual actors and actresses in the audience, they looked terrified at the idea of you mentioning their name. Did you feel that?
I did, and I noticed it the first time. I didn't get it. Like, one of the first one I did it, people would come up and say, what are you going to say about me? I think, why do you care? I only go after their public behaviours. I don't, you know, expose anything about them or, you know, nothing that bad.
What made you think, you know what, I'm just going to hammer them?
When they said, do you want to host the Golden Globes, all that stuff I said in the show was true. I said, I'm going to write my own jokes. Right? And I thought, who do I pander to? The 200 richest people in the room or the 200 million people watching at home who aren't winning awards, who aren't millionaires?
But before we get into the names, you need to know what's actually going on. Because if you don't have the background, none of this will make sense. Don't worry, I will keep it short. Now, I'm not going to go so deep into who is Epstein and what he did, but the thing that only matters is he died in prison. And the official story is suicide. And a lot of people, including Ricky Gervais, have never bought that story. The Epstein files are court documents, FBI records, and flight logs that name the people connected to him. Here's the problem. A huge chunk of those files are still sealed or covered in black marks. We're talking 70 to 80% of some documents still hidden from the public. So when people say a name isn't in the files, that's not the full picture. There's a lot we simply haven't been allowed to see yet. Right now, the files are slowly being released, and Epstein survivor Lisa Phillips went on live TV and said she has her own list. She looked straight into the camera and said she knows exactly who was involved, and she's not afraid to say it.
Transparency is justice. Release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law.
And then there's Ricky Gervais, a British comedian and writer who hosted the Golden Globes multiple times and used every single one of those stages to fire shots at Hollywood, through jokes, punchlines, comedy. But as you're about to see, those jokes were never just jokes. The man who said it first. Let's go back to the 2020 Golden Globes. Picture the room, Hollywood's biggest names, all dressed up, sitting right there. And Ricky Gervais walks out and tells them all on live television that Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. The whole room went silent. You could feel the tension through the screen. And Ricky, he didn't flinch. He didn't backtrack. He basically looked at the room and said, I know he was your friend. I don't care.
I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You like to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you?
And Tom Hanks's face in that room, people on the internet have never forgotten it. The man looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. We'll come back to him in a minute. But this wasn't even the first time Ricky had done this. Go back to the 2012 Golden Globes. He stood up there and told the whole room they were terrified of journalist Ronan Farrow, the man who went on to expose some of the worst behavior Hollywood had been hiding for decades. That joke hit hard, and it was supposed to.
It's been an amazing year in show business. It's not all been good news. What's with all the divorces? What's going on? I mean, Arnold and Maria, J-Lo and Mark Anthony, Ashton and Demi, Kim Kardashian and Some guy no one will ever remember. He wasn't around long. 72 days. A marriage that lasted 72 days. I've sat through longer James Cameron acceptance speeches than that. Other celebrity scandal. Justin Bieber nearly had to take a paternity test. What a waste of a test that would have been. No.
Here's what Joe Rogan said about all of this. And when Joe Rogan gives someone their flowers, you listen. He said Ricky isn't up there telling jokes for claps. He's using comedy to say the quiet parts loud, to slip the truth right past you before you even realize what just happened.
The idea that a guy actually had a island. I mean,
that's what Ricky Gervais was joking about last night.
Did you watch that?
Of course he was. No, but I did see the one clip that somebody put on the internet about him saying, don't virtue signal, just come out here and get your little prize, go off, because nobody cares about your opinion. I was like, thank you.
Ricky Gervais wasn't performing. He was warning them. And everything he pointed at is now unraveling, right in front of our eyes. Tom Hanks, going quiet at the worst possible time. Now let's talk about Tom Hanks, because his face during that Epstein joke at the Golden Globes became one of the most talked about moments on the internet, and people are still talking about it. Here's what people are pointing to. A quick Google search will tell you his name isn't front and center in the files. But remember what we just talked about. 70 to 80% of those documents are still redacted. The absence of a name right now is not a clean bill of health. It just means we haven't seen everything yet.
Hey guys, so Tom Hanks is in the Epstein files. Yes, and it seems to be pretty significant, as I will describe. So in this first example, it sounds like Tom Hanks was hanging out with Epstein. Let's go over what happened. So this is an email from Peggy Siegel to Epstein from 2013.